Press freedom around the world is increasingly under threat, according to the latest annual World Press Freedom Index by Reporters Without Borders. The 2024 index reveals a significant decline in the political indicator, reflecting a global average drop of 7.6 points. This decline highlights the growing failure of governments and political authorities to protect journalism and ensure the public's access to reliable, independent, and diverse news and information. Reporters Without Borders findings indicate a disturbing trend. Many governments are not only failing to support media autonomy, but are also increasing pressure on journalists. In 2024, over half the world's population will vote, and Reporters Without Borders warns of the worrying trend of declining political protection for press freedom. This trend is often accompanied by hostile actions that undermine journalists' roles, including campaigns of harassment and disinformation. Anne Bocand, Reporters Without Borders editorial director, emphasized the lack of political will on the part of the international community to enforce the principles of protecting journalists, as stipulated in United Nations Security Council Resolution 2222. The ongoing war in Gaza has resulted in a record number of violations against journalists, with over 100 Palestinian reporters killed by the Israel Defense Forces since October 2023. The 2024 index highlights the impact of political events on press freedom. Elections often bring violence against journalists, as seen in Nigeria, ranked 112th, and the Democratic Republic of Congo, ranked 123rd. Military juntas in the Sahel, including Niger, which dropped 19 places to 80th, Burkina Faso, which dropped 28 places to 86th, and Mali, which dropped 1 place to 114th, continue to tighten their grip on the media. In Turkey, Recep Tayyip Erdogan's re-election has raised concerns, with the country ranked 158th. The use of generative artificial intelligence in disinformation campaigns is also a growing threat, exemplified by the deepfake audio of journalist Monika Todova during Slovakia's parliamentary elections, with the country dropping 12 places to 29th. The press freedom situation has worsened significantly in the Asia-Pacific region, where 26 of the 32 countries and territories have seen their scores fall in the 2024 World Press Freedom Index. The region's dictatorial governments have been tightening their hold over news and information with increasing vigor. In Afghanistan, ranked 178th, 3 journalists were killed and at least 25 were detained, causing the country to drop 26 places. North Korea, ranked 177th, and China, ranked 172nd, with their all-out persecution of the media, have stagnated in the depths of the index. Vietnam, ranked 174th, and Myanmar, ranked 171st, have pursued a policy of mass imprisonment of media personnel, ranking as the 4th and 2nd biggest jailers of journalists globally, respectively. An increase in government reprisals against journalists has added Cambodia, ranked 151st, to the countries with a very serious situation. In 2023, 2 journalists were murdered in the Philippines, ranked 134th, one of the region's most dangerous countries for media professionals. Malaysia saw its ranking drop from 73rd to 107th in light of recent threats to journalism, which have included prosecutions involving huge expenses, police searches of media outlet headquarters, disregard for the confidentiality of sources, and expulsions of foreign reporters or whistleblowers. Meanwhile, Singapore's position rose 3 places from 129th to 126th, but with a lower score awarded. Against an election backdrop, violence against journalists increased in several of the region's countries with almost total impunity. 3 journalists were murdered in Bangladesh, ranked 165th. The number of arbitrary detentions and enforced disappearances of journalists increased in Pakistan, ranked 152nd, while journalists were subjected to physical and online attacks in Indonesia, ranked 111th. Some countries' rises in the index are misleading as their scores fell, and the rises were due to falls by countries previously above them. India, ranked 159th, moved up 2 places despite adopting more draconian laws, and Hong Kong, ranked 135th, rose 5 places despite increased persecution of journalists under Beijing's national security law. Censorship has returned to several countries that had seen improvements. In South Korea, ranked 62nd, several media outlets faced prosecution threats for supposed defamation. The threat of defamation proceedings keeps journalists on a short leash in Mongolia, ranked 109th, while news sites critical of the government are often blocked in Malaysia, ranked 107th. No country in the Asia-Pacific region is among the index's top 15 this year. New Zealand, ranked 19th, despite a 6-place fall, retains its position as the region's leader. Other regional democracies like Timor-Leste, ranked 20th, Samoa, ranked 22nd, and Taiwan, ranked 27th, have also retained their roles as press freedom models, despite facing challenges to the right to information. Many governments have increased control over social media and the internet, restricting access and suppressing news. In Vietnam, ranked 174th, journalists expressing their opinions online are almost systematically imprisoned. China, ranked 172nd, continues to detain the most journalists worldwide and exercises strict control over information channels. Political groups often fuel hatred and distrust of journalists, as seen in Italy, ranked 46th, where attempts to acquire major news agencies are underway. In Eastern Europe and Central Asia, media censorship has intensified, particularly in Belarus, which dropped 10 places to 167th, and Azerbaijan, which dropped 13 places to 164th. The overall decline in the political indicator has affected even the top-ranked countries. Norway remains first, but has seen a fall in its political score. Ireland, ranked 8th, has ceded its leading European Union position to Denmark, ranked 2nd, followed by Sweden, ranked 3rd. At the bottom, Afghanistan, down 44 in the political ranking, and Eritrea are now the lowest-ranked countries, with lawless zones for media and high numbers of detained journalists. The Maghreb Middle East region fares worst in the 2024 index, followed by the Asia-Pacific region. Europe remains the region with the best press freedom, with improvements in Germany and challenges in Hungary, Malta, and Greece. The Americas face major issues with journalists covering organized crime and corruption, with the United States falling 10 places. Sub-Saharan Africa has seen increased political violence against journalists, particularly during elections. The Asia-Pacific region includes some of the world's most dangerous countries for media personnel, including Myanmar, ranked 171st, and Afghanistan, ranked 178th. In the Middle East and North Africa, nearly half the countries face a very serious press freedom situation, with Palestine being the deadliest country for journalists. Qatar remains the region's only country not classified as difficult or very serious. As elections approach worldwide, journalists are expected to face increased pressure and challenges in their work.